Ebon Christ. From the cradle of ancient Kemet, where the fertile blacklands annually drowned and were reborn under the Nile's regenerative inundations, a sacred creed first took metaphysical root and flourished in mankind's collective consciousness. It was here, amid the cyclopean glories of Wasit and the colossal monumental sphinxes keeping ageless vigil, that the first whispers of an omnipotent, unseen force governing all of existence emerged from the shrouded mists of prehistory. The celestial powers and prognostications which would captivate civilizations across the ancient world for millennia to come were first divined, encoded, and venerated by the mystic priest kings of those resplendent black pharaohs reigning sovereign upon the eternal river shores. For it was in those halcyon epochs that the enigmatic Mar, or Asian overseers, formulated their initiatory doctrines and arcane wisdom teachings based on profoundly symbolic observations of the heavenly bodies and earthly forces. Their secret language of numerological ciphers, alchemical equations, and sacred geometries reflected the intrinsic balance and symmetry pulsating through all planes of being. Awaken Malakuru, or true of voice. Scribes inscribed such sacred mathematical resonances into soaring obelisks and labyrinthine sepulchres dedicated to exploring the immortal aspect of human consciousness. Yet all this antediluvian metaphysical speculation ultimately converged upon one supreme axiom that would provide the primordial foundation for mankind's future: organized faiths and creeds, the sublime creatrix eternal, both encompassing and transcending duality itself. The Kheperu, or becoming's, a cyclic process of endless transformation and rebirth incumbent upon all energies comprising the infinite spiraling cosmos. The interplay of opposites, of polarity and equilibrium that catalyzes each new iteration of life's regenerative Naturemat, or mother of all things. From the exalted black lands, undulations of this secret obsidian gnosis silently radiated outward across ancient Africa, then emanated further into the Levant and Asia Minor over scores of centuries. Its many esoteric concepts transmitting as allegorical archetypes that propagated hidden symbolic tributaries flowing into virtually every primordial myth cycle, folklore, and mystic revision of the early civilizations. There, in the far Mesopotamian cradle of the Judeo-Christian mythos, the reverberations of that sacred Black Nile wisdom blossomed anew. The unifying ancestral deity named El was venerated by the Hebrews as the omnipotent creator commanding all celestial powers and principalities that govern natural phenomena and champions of righteousness. His powerful agency manifested through legions of subservient spirits or messiahs, benevolent angels, and avatars able to descend from the heavenly Empyrean to directly intercede in mortal affairs as fiery pillars or guiding hands. As with the Kemetic mythos, the full anthropomorphic attributes of this supreme divinity remained enshrouded in deliberate mystery so as to transcend limited mortal definition. But his outstretched hands and guardianship were understood to meet life, authority, and revelation unto the righteous while dispensing death and tribulation to the spiritually unworthy. And so it was that in the turbulent barbarian era of ancient Judea and Galilee provinces brutally occupied by the godless Roman Imperium, whispers emanating from various Hebrew scriptures of just such a transcendent heavenly king avatar arriving soon to liberate the oppressed took powerful hold over the scattered populace. For according to their numberless ancient scrolls and oral teachings passed through generations of harried diaspora, their coming anointed sovereign or Messiah would fulfill an archetypal sacrificial role preordained by the Creator himself to redeem mankind's sins and overthrow the wicked global order. Known by many names and facets throughout history, ranging from the Gnostic texts to Islam's Hadith the Vidir Raja Forber, the hidden Imam, this messianic millennium had been prophesied across the ancient world. An era of global purification and final tribulation to transmute the recalcitrant human multitudes toward awakened Kamal apotheosis or Christ consciousness. Among the most humble and downtrodden Nazarene peasantry of Canaan, the emanations of this Hebrew folklore tradition indelibly stamped the populous proto-gospels, then beginning to coalesce in fervent anticipation of their Savior manifesting as an all-powerful activist champion of the people. He would arrive from undisclosed mystical provenance to form an unshakable Zionistic resistance against the cruel imperial Roman oppressors, a wrathful black messiah sent by El to pass final judgment upon the wretches reigning over Yahweh's chosen flock. Through spiritual alchemy or celestial dominion over the unseen forces of nature, he would wield awe-inspiring miracles to smite the heathen empire and restore Jerusalem as an eternal sovereign kingdom under godly rule. Yet on one particularly auspicious eve of mystical portents under a star-blazoned Judean night sky, the dramatic birth cry of a radiant newborn male son heralded the watershed epoch of fulfillment so longed and prophesied. In an impoverished stone manger within the occupied city of Bethlehem, his virgin mother Miriam gazed down in rapturous adoration at the babe's ebony-hued flesh glistening like a polished onyx cabochon in the flickering lamp oil's glow. As the ancient midwife finished swaddling the boy's tiny frame in white linen bindings, she beheld an ethereal reflection gleaming within the infant's argent irises. Undulating luminescent waves simulating the vast heavenly cosmos swirling among those iridescent lunar pools. For unto you this light is given, Yeshua ben El Yahweh, she delicately murmured in her native tongue, the ancient mother gently kissing his downy scalp bejeweled with night-dark curled locks. Born of Miriam's womb in the embrace of Bethlehem's beacon illuminating enshrouded mankind, you are the living black seed of immortal consciousness destined to liberate this world. Within the oracular infant's obsidian features, she recognized the mystical seed atoms carrying the divine over code and triggered non-linear renaissance for planet Earth. An infinite cosmic lotus of infinite fractal possibilities exponentially blooming in expanded awareness across all space-time continuum vectors. For his soul's sacred vibrational essence had been encoded with the master language of creation, mapping the spiritual DNA sequences of enlightened consciousness able to activate the Ubermensch potential lying dormant and unexpressed within all biological conduits. As the swaddling issued prayers and secured protective amulets over his tender body, celestial light rays from unseen hyperdimensional sources seemed to reify across the birthing room in ethereal secular patterns. Equations of supreme coherence harmonizing the hidden laws of quantum mechanics and consciousness into synergistic synchronous rapture. The laws of men bind their flesh but cannot constrain the limitless fire sparks of El Yahweh's Kheperu. The aging midwife covered the infant's eyes as iridescent sacred geometries began softly pulsating across his newly formed irises. For you alone shall incarnate that exalted promise for humanity anew. Our long-prophesied mighty avatar shining like a smoking star of transcendental quintessence to burn away the ignorance, vice, and malice strangling the children of the Black Code's era, until the long age of enlightenment and shadow integration has at last been ushered in. Unbeknownst to any within that sanctum sanctorum's consecrated confines, the Kabbalistic electro-overminds of higher dimensionality issuing from Yahweh's eternal throne had performed their apex ritual of benediction over the fruition incarnate of this preternatural human archetype. For within the mortal kinoma of this Christic host child rested the holographic codes capable of full self-determination, allowing unfettered autonomy and transmigration back through the original unified field preceding all cosmic fractalization. He would personify the perfected alchemical etheric unifier conduit as the long-prophesied living duality ordained with boundless authority to administer the great work of planetary redemption unto gnosis completion. And so the blessed infant embodied blazing visions of this transfiguring hyper-Gnostic revelation unto all worthy Aber.